Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a good day. It's February 28th, last day of February, and today I'm back here with another video. Today we're going to be talking about an actual, potentially interesting day for severe weather in the south. The SBC has put out a slight risk, as you guys can see, and we're going to be talking about that in today's video, and we're also going to be talking about our next major storm system, or not really major, but our next big deal storm system for the U.S. Now, let's go and get started. So as you guys can see, we did only have a marginal yesterday, but this has gotten upgraded to a slight risk in areas of northeastern Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, northwestern Louisiana, northern Mississippi, northwestern Alabama, and western central Tennessee. We do have the slight risk. It's actually a pretty big one. And we have a marginal going all the way from the west side of Texas, all the way up in the southwestern West Virginia. Now, we do actually have a 5% tornado risk in areas of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, and southeastern Missouri. And yeah, so due to this 5% tornado risk, if I see we have if we get an ongoing tornado warning and it looks like a big deal to me, I might actually live stream later for this 5%. So yeah, don't expect a live stream, but I might do one. And we do have a 15% wind threat. Not hatched, we don't have a hatched area. But we do have a hatched wind threat, or not wind threat, sorry, hail threat. And that is in areas of Texas, Arkansas, southeastern Oklahoma, and northwestern Louisiana with that hatched hail threat. So this is our first 15% hatched or significant hail threat of the year so far. So now let's take a look at what we already have ongoing right now on radar scope. So we don't have any severe warning storms. We did have some this morning, but right now the strongest storms seem to be limited into southeastern Oklahoma and into Arkansas. We have some storms here in southeastern Oklahoma. A few of these have some characteristics of sort of what I call baby supercells, especially these ones down here, which we're going to be talking about. We're going to see if they have any mesos or anything real quick. And we have some here in western Arkansas. And then we can continue moving up further to the north. Let's take a look at the Little Rock radar. We do have some strong storms to the northeast of Little Rock. And then a lot of kind of pulse-looking storms in northern Mississippi and western Tennessee. Kind of like a spring-like pattern we have going on right now. And we do have flash flood warnings here in southwestern Kentucky. Major cities in that is Hopkinsville. That's not really a major city. It's in north of Clarksville. It's really the only large city, but that's not even in it. We have 3 flash flood warnings. Or actually, no, Bowling Green, Kentucky is in that, sorry. And we still have heavy rain moving throughout those flash flood warnings. We have some thunderstorms right here. And so yeah, that's pretty much what we have ongoing right now for storms. But let's look at what we could be having later today. Now, let's go out to this afternoon. Actually, first of all, we're going to zoom in to the south-central U.S. Let's look at our hatched hail threat first, because it's kind of a big deal for late February. So you can see around 3 to 4 p.m., we have some HRRR. HRRR, I'm just going to say that. We have pretty strong-looking storms. This is just forecasted reflectivity, but we do have pretty strong-looking storms in southeastern Oklahoma and areas of western Arkansas, where we already have storms right now. So hopefully that will be able to limit that if we don't have enough energy, but it's not looking... Well, actually, here's something. So the HRRR, sorry, it's not showing all this convection we already have ongoing in this area. We have a lot more convection. Or actually, not a whole lot more, but we do have a little bit more than it's showing. So hopefully that will be able to keep our severe weather threat down a little bit in that area. We'll have to see about that, though. So you can see, yeah, some pretty strong-looking storms in this area. I'm going to take some soundings in front of these. Let's take one here kind of to the northeast of Texarkana. We have a lot of energy with this. 1,588 MLK. That's pretty good for this time of year. We have a 68-degree dew point, so pretty moist sounding. And shear, it's not perfect, but it's not terrible either. Definitely enough to support some circulations. We move further north to where this is around the Little Rock area now. This is a little bit capped. We don't have as much energy, but we do have. It's still a very moist sounding, and shear is still okay. So yeah. No, sorry about that. Let's go back. Now we're gonna take some soundings earlier, a little bit earlier. Let's take one right here. This is contaminated because I took it in the storm, so let's take it right in front of it. All right, still this is capped, but we do have a good amount of energy. Yeah, so almost a 70-degree dew point. This is a little bit contaminated, but I don't think it's not too contaminated in my opinion. And we can see we have okay shear once again. So shear at this event is not perfect, but it's enough to support a tornado, of course, and a few. So hopefully that tornado threat will be limited because we already have ongoing convection. But yeah, so hopefully that'll help limit it, but it may not. Now let's take a sounding it over here. This is still once again capped. We have around 1,000 ml cape with this, so not bad. Storm Slinky, that actually looks decent. The HRRR is actually showing maybe a few supercells, but keep in mind the HRRR kind of does like to print supercells sometimes. Actually, a lot of times, but it's been right before. All right, yeah, so some of these cells in northern Mississippi look very interesting. Let's take a sounding for this one. That is weird for sure. That's QT, but yeah, we have around a little bit over 1,000 cape. Shear is actually a little bit better with this sounding. It's kind of, I like some of the other soundings better than that one for sure, though. That looks like an embedded supercell right there, so let's take it in front of this. Now, where we have these supercells, it's not going to be anything like where the HRRR is showing them right now. It's going to be, if we do have supercells, most of them, it's forecasted reflectivity. I don't use it to decide exactly where like supercells are going to show up. Most likely, we're not going to have like a supercell pop up in northern Mississippi exactly right there. It could be around there if we even get one. It's most likely not going to be exactly right there. It's not how I use forecasted reflectivity, at least. So yeah, we can take some soundings even in the Nashville area here. Let's take one. This is a little bit more capped. We have a little bit less energy. Shear, once again, is okay. Now, yeah, let's take it once it gets into. Now, some of these cells, the HRRR is showing here in southwestern Tennessee, kind of right to the east of Memphis. These are overnight, or it's now overnight. So let's take a sounding in front of these. These look kind of like embedded supercells, potentially. 67-degree dew point, that's pretty good. We have 1,435 ml cape. It is a little bit capped, though. But yeah, so that's the severe weather threat today. It's looking like we're going to have severe weather all the way maybe from western Texas, especially northeastern Texas, into my kind of, or where I think the most is going to be, I'd say is probably this area right there. Maybe not this far north. All right, but yeah, now let's switch topics a little bit to when we're going to be seeing our next storm system. So over the next several days, we're going to be having a lot of rain across the southeast. And it seems to clear out for maybe like a brief little bit, not barely even clearing out though, before we have another storm system another storm system Tuesday afternoon. That tracks to the northeast, and the low goes across South Alabama, kind of the Alabama-Florida line, goes into South Georgia, and then into southern South Carolina. Now, if we had some cold air with this, like we did back in January, we could get some snow with this, but we don't have cold air. We have the nearest high pressure, which is not very strong. It's bringing down some cooler air into the central U.S., but we don't have a whole lot of it here. We do have the wedge, though, or cold air damming to the east of the Appalachians, but it's not going to be cold enough to support much wintry precip at all. And that moves out by Thursday afternoon off the east. It's pretty cold across the northeast, as we have the entrance of an Arctic blast there, even some lake effect potentially. And yeah, so our next storm system seems to be or starts around Thursday. It brings a lot of heavy snow to the Rockies, and that moves into the plains now. The GFS now actually shows a closed off surface low. It's not very strong. Then that moves to the southeast. It doesn't really do that much, as you guys can see. We don't have a lot of cold air in this area, so we don't get snow in areas of Texas and Oklahoma. It just moves it dies out in central Texas, and then this moves out into the Gulf. And maybe re-strengthens once it gets to Florida as a weak disturbance and brings some rain to Florida. And we can see how the European sort of is different than the GFS here. The European has has our first low Tuesday and Wednesday across the southeast, taking a little bit more of a northeast motion, going across South Georgia, even into central South Carolina, then into North Carolina. Then it moves off the coast. And then it has our next one. It's actually really similar to the GFS of our next storm system, just a little bit of rain with a closed off low in Texas. And then that dies out once it gets into central Texas. And then maybe re-strengthens a little bit to bring some rain to Florida, but nothing significant. Yeah, we can see actually late next week we're going to have another storm system hit the northwest, and that brings mostly rain but some mountain snow. And that is far out though, so we'll have to see what that does once it actually enters the plains and goes into the east. But yeah, that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back maybe later or tomorrow. If we do have a lot of severe weather ongoing this afternoon and tonight, I will be live streaming. But yeah, bye.